the denial of the hero's journey. It's the refusal of the call. There's always the call to it, but you refuse the call. But if you don't step up and have the courage to step over that threshold, it usually ends in illness, broke, relationship damage, whatever it is that's irreparable. They usually only come to us when it's broken.
Yep.
But how do you get them to that threshold and take the step?
Well, part of the new brand is to step into helping people make that step. And I don't necessarily have all the answers at the moment, because even the Yoga Sutras, the first sutra, which is the psychology behind yoga, it says when you're ready, this is what you do. It never goes into how do you get someone ready. And as a matter of fact, most ancient philosophies don't address getting people ready. So, part of the reason why I'm fired up is to try to help solve that and get people more ready. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm getting CEOs that I've worked with to share their inner world of what their inner experience was. I call that the inside story. So I'm hoping through those stories and sharing those stories, people will start to realize the power of this work, and that, being scared of it is irrelevant. It's not necessary, because if you actually think about it, it makes no sense, because why would we not step into doing work on our inner world?
Yeah.
And it's only fear. Well, it's the fear. It's the ego that wants to control things, and it wants the next day to be understood and doesn't want change. It is the deconstruction of the ego by going inside. So the device
Scary unknown.
Scary, and it doesn't want you to go. So as long as the ego's in charge, you're not going to go there. And it's interesting. I've had CEOs who go, Derek, I know I need to change, but I don't want to, because the recipe for being successful in the outside world, as in making money, gathering resources beyond their needs, they've done that really well. And they're worried that by doing some work on the inside, it's going to shift that external recipe, even though they are completely miserable with their life.
Right.
They won't go there. The next one is that they've buried their past. Events have happened in their past that they haven't really dealt with, and they've believed that with time, things will get better and move on. But the reality is it's just buried. They haven't digested their events in a way that's helpful for them. So
yeah, the measure of a great life, I believe, is how you lived it, not what you achieved. No one gives a fuck. And
I agree.
my question to people is, how do you want to live your life? And often people come to us are incredibly successful, but how do you want to live your life?
Yep.
And it's just scary to you because it's the unknown. Meaning of life, know thyself. Let's take you on the journey. And it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom and tears and ayahuasca journeys and throwing up. And no, they have a lightness to it. If you want it to be hard, it can be hard. Or we could simply have a play here and make it enjoyable. But your resistance to it means you're already expecting it to be shit. Therefore, what is it? It's a shit journey. Question is, how do you want to live your life? How do you want to live?
Yeah.
I love what you're doing, mate.
Yeah. I love those words. I use, how do you want to experience your life?
Right.
Because
that's choice.
Because it's a choice. And people don't think they have a choice. They don't understand. And what's so interesting is that science is now starting to validate this idea that we only see and experience life based on our past experiences, based on who we think we are. And we can change that experience of life. We're only seeing a fraction of life of what's really happening out there based on our experiences.
Right. The problem is not there's all this information. I can only focus on a few things. The problem is I'm looking for the same information to validate the way I see myself in that one very narrow view. And if it's not there, I will misbehave in a way that will create that very thing. This is the meaning of life. Your view of the universe through your eyes is this thin. When you've got all of this 360 view around you that you have no idea about, and you're scared to get out of this view.